You could really successfully do that. I don't even know, what does that even mean? You know what I mean. Do you know what I mean? Hey guys, welcome back. So I have got a fun, casual, get ready with me video for y'all today on this look right here. So kind of just like, I don't know, one of my go-to kind of looks, just sort of coppery, neutral, but glowy. This is, you know, just the kind of look that I love to do on the daily. Like if I'm just playing in makeup, a lot of times I do this kind of a look. So yeah, doing this look today, used pretty much all, I think all newer stuff from the drugstore. So yeah, if you want to get ready with me today, let's get to it. Okay, so I'm going to start off with some of the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer. And I'm going to put this mainly kind of all in my T-zone. Mostly in here, that's where I get like the most obvious pores is on my cheeks. But also going to bring it up here a little bit. I did also already apply a moisturizer before this. And I totally forgot to use something from the drugstore. Oops. For foundation, I'm going to do a little combo of the Wet n Wild Photo Focus foundation in the Dewy and then in the regular. The two colors I'm going to use, the Dewy in, what is this? In Buff Bisque, which is a light medium. And then in the regular, I'm going to use Nude Ivory because I'm kind of like, a lot of times I end up like mixing colors. So that's what I'm going to do here. I do love the Dewy. If you like the Dewy look, I just get fairly oily with it, but I mean, I'm more combo skin, so that makes sense. So I like to mix it with some of the regular one so I get a little bit more of that longevity and better wear time on it. And by the way, the regular one has kind of like a painty sort of a smell. The Dewy one does not, so just FYI on that. Sometimes I just like to sweep on foundation and then I'll kind of tap it where I want a little bit more coverage, like I have some more redness on my cheeks, so I kind of stamp it, like around my nose I have more redness. Just gives you a little bit more coverage. But I just don't like to use tons of product. I mean, I actually use a little bit more than I normally do even. But usually I'm trying to use the least amount of product possible. Y'all, the regular color of this one walked away, grew legs. I know I have the nude one of this, and I can't find it anywhere. It's somewhere, but I guess I'll use the white one. This is the e.l.f. Putty Eye Primer. So this is going to be really white, but that's what I will use, and I'll just cover it up with some face powder to kind of like tone down the white. All right, brows, I'm going to use the CoverGirl Easy Breezy Brow Draw and Fill. And I have it in Soft Blonde. Soft Blonde, really like this side the most versus the little like stamper side. What is happening? What is that? What is happening? Okay, I just grabbed several palettes to play with, like the Milani Most Wanted eyeshadow palette in Burning Desire. Love this Maybelline palette, the Nudes of New York. It's amazing. Love these little e.l.f. palettes. So I don't know. I don't even know. I want to play with them all. So I'm going to start with the Nudes of New York. And actually, really, this doesn't look crazy light on my eyes. So I think I can just use, what can I use? Like this creamy shade right here to set that. And I think that'll just kind of help to tone it down a smidgen, but I don't think it's like out of control light white on my lids. Okay, so I'm going to start with some of this shade right here in this Maybelline palette. And using a crease brush, just going to apply this into my crease and transition area. I think I'm just going to do like a look that I would do on just any normal day. Like I love a neutral eye look. I love a warm eye look, so I think that's what I'm going to go with. This palette is really, really good, y'all. If you haven't tried it, it blends well, it's pigmented. You can do a lot of different looks with it, daytime, nighttime, smoky, whatever. It's good. I'm gonna take this Milani palette and get this warm shade right here on a Morphe M507 and put this in my outer corner and across my crease, keeping it a little bit lower. And then as I blend up, lifting up on the pressure just to kind of help to diffuse and blend that color. So a nice warm crease. I could definitely do a pretty halo eye, especially with that white primer. I mean, you could really successfully do that. I don't even know, what does that even mean? You know what I mean. Do you know what I mean? But that white primer would really give you that pop right in the middle of the lids. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, what do I want to do? I think I want to use this e.l.f. Bite Size palette in Pumpkin Pie. It's this really pretty kind of coppery, warmer sort of a palette. Which one do I want to use? I think I'm going to use this one right here. So let me get a brush on. This is a Chic eyeshadow brush, and I'm going to spray it with some setting spray. And then I'm going to apply this all over my lid. And just build up this color. I would say this is like my go-to kind of an eye look. Just a warm, kind of coppery or bronzy sort of an eye look. Even more so than a golden eye look, I actually just, I don't know. I feel a little bit more neutral in this sort of a look, whereas golden is, I don't know, it seems, I mean, I love it, but it's a little bit just brighter. I don't know. I don't know why this feels more neutral to me, but it does. I think because this was always my go-to. Like even when I first started getting into playing with makeup, I would do just kind of one shadow looks, and it was always kind of a coppery or bronzy sort of a color, just blend it up into the crease. And also you can totally just use your bronzer in your crease. Like if you just have literally one shadow, you could use your bronzer to blend it up into your crease. But really, I mean, these e.l.f. palettes are $3 and you get 4 colors in them. You get mattes and metallic-y shades. So good. Now I'm gonna take my Maybelline palette again. I think I'm gonna get some of this shade right here, which is, what is that? Globetrotter. On that same Morphe brush. Whoa, I think I got too much. And just put a little bit of this in my outer corner, just to give a little bit more depth and dimension. Ooh, that is so pretty. Oops. I'm like, ooh, that's so pretty. Starting to get into this one. Nope. We would have 2 different eye looks. It's a really pretty, like rusty burgundy sort of a color. Beautiful. Okay, for liner on my upper lash line, I'm going to use this one from Wet n Wild. Really, really like this liner. This is the Breakup Proof, Waterproof, Retractable Gel Eyeliner in Black Brown. I'm just going to line this on my upper lash line. Really like this because it's very creamy and blendable, so it doesn't drag on your eyes at all, but I find it to be long wearing. It's just a really good formula. I'm gonna take a little Delium Tools 760 brush. Just kind of make a little bit more of a precise wing on the outer corner. That's really the only thing with this, is that it's so creamy. If you want a little bit more precision with it, well, and also it's a retractable pencil, so it's not like it's a winged liner with a really defined tip. It's a retractable retractable pencil type of an end. So if you want more precision, just get a little brush and then you can totally do that. Mascara, I'm going to use this one from Wet n Wild. This is the Wet n Wild and Bretman Rock Bad Bee Lift Mascara. So just going to apply some of this. It's really good. Like it builds on itself well, wears well, has a nice applicator to it. It's a little bit curved. It is a thicker, gloopier sort of a mascara, but I like mascaras like that, so it's going to depend on your personal preferences, but I like them. Accidentally got it up on my eyelid, so I'm going to let that dry, and then I will flake it off with a little spoolie in a second. Okay, so I'm going to use some of the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer, satin finish. I'm going to do a little mixture of mostly this shade, which is light peach, and then just a few little dots of fair beige kind of in the darkest areas of my under eyes, which is like right in there. I like to kind of bring down this lightest shade, kind of right in here, just where it kind of helps to hide that shadowing and sort of like pop out that area. So it helps to hide the under eye circles and any kind of puffiness. Because you don't want to put it right on the puffiness because that's going to accentuate it more. So it's kind of in that deepest area where it's darkest and then slightly below it so that it pops out that area and makes it look like an even sort of an area. So for powder, I'm going to use the L'Oreal Age Perfect Creamy Powder Foundation. Just apply a little bit of this under the eyes, not a ton of product, just to kind of set that. I'm using an e.l.f. tapered brush, and then I'll use a fluffier brush to set the rest of my makeup. This powder is so pretty. It's very forgiving. I got the wrong brush. This is a Moda something brush. Loud car driving by. What is happening out there? Sound like they drove by and grinded something on the street. It's very smoothing, really forgiving, has some coverage to it. It's really nice. I also really like the regular L'Oreal True Match powder. I mean, that one is beautiful as well. So L'Oreal has some good powders. Okay, bronzer, I'm going to use this one from Essence, the Luminous Bronzing Powder in medium tone. This is a BH Cosmetics Studio Pro 15 brush. And just going to apply some of this. It's a warm bronzer, but it's really pretty. It has a yummy scent to it. It's very like coconutty and pineapple-y, like very tropical, like a vacation. I've started really doing this a lot where I kind of like stamp on my bronzer because I find that it kind of moves the product under it less. And I don't know, I just like that kind of a blend better. So I'll do this and then I'll just slightly blend, but I more do stamping, mainly here on my cheeks. Up on my forehead, I just kind of still do the normal blend, but here I like to do the little stamp. I'm gonna go ahead and finish my under eyes. So I'm gonna get some of Explorer from the Maybelline palette on a Sedona Lace EB21 brush and just line this along my lower lash line. I'm applying it more here and then very lightly blending it over this direction. Some more in the outer corner. And then some CoverGirl Clump Crusher for my lower lashes. Okay, for blush, I'm going to very lightly use some of the Milani Cheek Kiss Liquid Blush in Rose Romance. These cream blushes, a little bit goes a long way with them, and this one is a fairly bright color, and you don't need very much. Using a little small stipple brush to apply this, and you can see I'm going very light-handed with it, starting out with very little product. And then I can build up and always add more if I need more. Again, I like to stamp because I find that that just blends a little bit better. It literally sounded like somebody driving a lawnmower down the street. Maybe it was. We're gonna put a little dab on my nose. Tiny, tiny bit. Highlighter, I'm gonna use this Revlon Skin Lights Prismatic Highlighter in Daybreak Glimmer. Daybreak Glimmer. Just gonna apply some of this with a Beauty Junkies Pro setting brush to the tops of my cheekbones. This is beautiful. Just a really gorgeous classic highlight. Very versatile. I think you get a ton of use out of this. Also gonna pop some of this on the inner corners of my eyes with a little pencil brush, just for a little pop there. And just going back in with that stipple brush and going kind of over that highlighter very lightly, but just kind of to like blend everything together a little bit more. And then my powder brush, I like to do this sometimes where I just kind of lightly go around my blush and bronzer. Kind of helps it just soften and diffuse that blend. You know what I mean? And for lips, I'm going to use one of the Maybelline liners in Purely Nude. And then one of their newer colors. Love Maybelline lipsticks so much. This is 144 Naked Bear. Yeah, oh no, Naked Dare. Dare. Okay guys, so that wraps up this video. So hope that you really enjoyed it. Please do a thumbs up if you did, and let me know down below what you've been loving playing with in makeup lately. I would love to know that. Ask me any questions that you have. I'm happy to answer those. Please subscribe to my channel if you're not already, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!